press conference, get to know a little bit, because the man that Harlem Eubank fights on Saturday is no gimmick. You may have seen him against Liam Paro, and the Eubank team actually believe he won that fight. He spoke about it as the world title eliminator, and on Saturday night at the Copper Box, live and exclusive on DAZN, we finally get to see Harlem Eubank versus David Papot. Anyway, before we get into it and speak to the fighters and both parts of the team, let's get some of the MF Pro team in. He's here, he's back on UK shores, Mr. Aymer Abdullah. Good to see you again, my friend. You're enjoying the journey with MF Pro.
Always good to see you. Thank you very much. It's great to be back here.
You've been out in the States, you've enjoyed so much. It's been such a whirlwind already. Just how excited are you on Saturday night at the Copper Box?
Oh man, before we hop into the Copper Box and the amazing card that we have, I first of all want to thank all of the press, all of the media, everybody watching at home. As a part of MF Pro and as the president, especially in the US, running the shows there, I love seeing what we're doing across the pond here in the UK. I told Harlem, I brought my family here so that we can watch Harlem Eubank fight in person. The fans are the bosses. When it all boils down to it, it comes down to the people that are viewing. And you can't build a promotion, you can't build a fight, you can't build an event, you can't build the hype by putting lipstick on a pig. You've got to actually have fighters that put on and perform. The fight that you're going to see with Harlem and David is one that, from an MF Pro perspective, we're trying to build Harlem up. He's our guy. I offered him, I don't want to say, I brought 3 solid guys to Harlem that were not at the level of David. Guys that had great names, that have been away for a little bit. Him choosing David Papot, and the matchmakers that called me and said, "Are you crazy?" for where he is in his career, lets me know where Harlem's mentality is, what his mindset is, and where he's going to go. If he gets by David Papot, there's only one place left for him to go, and that's championship contention. These are the kinds of fights that MF Pro puts on. They're fights where we cultivate and we build fighters, but there's not going to be any soft touches. Look at boxing. Everybody loves boxing. It's everybody's favorite sport. My son Ahmed, he loves boxing. He's 3 years old and he watches good fights. He doesn't want to see any soft touches at that age. We don't want to see any soft touches at this age and on this stage. What you're going to see is going to be an absolute 50-50 fight, and it is a tough fight on both sides. That's what MF Pro stands for. We're just looking to keep building, cultivating that same mentality and mindset into the pro stages.
You spoke absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
You may as well host the press conference as well. That was smooth as you like. Let's bring in MF Pro's Nissa Sowland as well. He's almost reiterated a little bit what you said at the start of the show about 50-50 fights. This one is that. Those who know boxing know just how good this one is. Harlem's called it that kind of world title eliminator. You've been edging closer. Why David Papot? Why the eagerness to have this fight at the Copper Box on Saturday? And why are you so sure your man Harlem Eubank wins?
I don't really have that much more to say after that. None. Look, we've gone for David Papot because he's the toughest name out there, and he was the toughest name that we could get, and Harlem wants to test himself. I like the viewpoint of looking at this as a eliminator, because it really is. Whoever wins, Harlem, of course, is going to win. Goes on to fight for a world title, whether it be Liam Paro, winner of Rolly Romero Tio, Ryan Garcia, Conor Ben. You got the whole Ben Eubank thing back in play. There's so many options out there. The welterweight division is on fire. All the fights live and exclusively on the home of boxing, global home of boxing DAZN, which, same as Saturday night, Harlem will be doing his thing from 7 o'clock. So yeah, just excited for Saturday, excited for Harlem to show the world what he can do. I think a lot of people, after the Cattrall fight, got a bit of flack for that, but to be honest, I could have said that would have happened before the fight, because their styles were just never going to gel for a big fight. And we took that on the chin, we've come back, and this is one more fight, and then we're on to world honours.
Is this more than a rebuild job, but kind of the age that Harlem's at now, despite the kind of fighting that he still wants? Is it make or break for him? Do you believe that he has to win here on Saturday?
I don't put any other option on the table than to win. I don't manifest that in any way. I believe Harlem will win on Saturday. There's always backup plans. It's my job as a promoter to navigate my fighter's career to the best of my ability. I think, like I said, the Jack Cattrall fight shouldn't count as a loss. It's a non-entity. I see it as both guys got a good payday and went home. Obviously, a couple of cuts worse off, but the fight didn't really happen in my eyes. You know, that was a bump in the road for us, and we're back. And Harlem is he's gonna put a show on Saturday.
Yes, sir, thank you. Let's speak to one of the other promoters up here, Mr. Mark Nielsen from Nielsen Boxing. I suppose this one's a bit of a pleasure for you now, working alongside Mr. Snowden. You can maybe put your feet up and just sit and enjoy the main event. What sort of fight can we expect here?
Well, I think the fans are just going to love it. They're definitely going to be the winners at the end of the night. It's funny, it's like full circle. Harlem fought on one of our early shows and on his 7th fight in Swindon. I think he'd had a fight cancelled, needed a run out, and it was a bit of a star quality when he fought on that show back in Swindon. And I remember watching him that night thinking, he's not just a name, he's keeping box, he's got some talent and he's going to go all the way. And here we are now on the cusp of the world title. I think this is an unofficial eliminator for sure. Both of these have only got the sort of one blemish on their record, and that's like at world level. So it's for me, we're putting all this undercard together, and there's two Commonwealth internationals in English, a southern area, but it's all about these main events, these IBFs, and this IBF International, which is just a step away from a full world title. So, I'm going to be delighted to sit ringside watching that fight.
Well, thank you, Mark. Let's speak to David Papot's promoter, David Mousset. You've taken another fight here on away territory. We saw just how good your man was against Liam Paro. Why Harlem Eubank? Why are you fighting him here in England?
First of all, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Martinson and Mr. Soel for the quality of the hosting and for the organization of this World Boxing event. And secondly, we considered it was a big opportunity. We consider London as the world capital of boxing, and we are very happy to be here. Eubank in the boxing game, in the boxing business, it's a big name. It's part of a big dynasty. We know better the uncle, the cousin, but Harlem is part of this dynasty. It's a boxing opportunity.
They said that they were potentially offered some easier fights, but they decided to take on your man. They do talk about this being the last step to world titles, though. Harlem talks about your Conor Benns and world title names. Do you think there's any danger that they're potentially overlooking your man in there on Saturday?
Est-ce qu'ils surestiment?
L'adversaire?
Non, est-ce qu'eux surestiment, sous-estiment David?
No. I believe maybe before the fight against Papot, it was possible to underestimate David Papot. After this fight, it's not possible. It was a very long trip to go to Sweden. And in our opinion, we are agreeing with Team Eubank. David won the fight against Liam Paro. Doctor and referee let Paro did 6 rounds with only one eye. In all the rings in the world, the referee stopped the fight. It is what it is. But in our opinion, the true IBF world champion is here to me. His name is David Papot.
He is 35 years of age, but it seems like he's getting better every time he fights. Is Saturday night the biggest win of David Papot's career?
Yeah, he's better and better. He's 35 years old, but he is at his prime. The fight in Australia was a big experience for him. He was already an experienced fighter, but a fight like this, international level, IBF eliminatory, it's more experience again. Now David knows his international level 100%, his world level, no question about that. He changed a lot of things.
You speak about England being the home of boxing. You speak about fighting at Eubank. A win here on Saturday at the Copper Box Arena. Does this man create a homecoming for French fighters? Is this a real opportunity for the whole of France and boxing in your hands as well?
Yeah, as you said, I'm a promoter, boxing promoter. We organize in the west of France, in the region whose name is Brittany. We have a big crowd. When I organize, there are 6, 7, 8,000 people. Brittany, it's a little version of Great Britain. It's why we are feeling a little bit at home here. The last time we went to Australia, it's a long trip at the end of the world. This time, a short flight, 50 minutes only from the North Airport, so it changed a lot of things here for us.
Well, let's bring in your man, David Papot. Obviously, we saw that fight against Liam Paro. Your promoter there says you should be the world champion. Why do you take on Harlem Eubank in the away corner on Saturday night? Why have you decided to take this fight?
Oui, tout d'abord, je pense, en ayant regardé le combat contre Liam Paro, avoir dominé Liam en Australie, et en plus avec son œil n'importe où il aurait dû être sûrement arrêté. Et voilà, il nous fallait après cette défaite un gros nom et une grosse opportunité. Et Harlem Eubank et le boxeur comme en Angleterre qu'il nous fallait pour rebondir. C'est un très bon boxeur, il a un nom très important et je pense que ça va faire un combat magnifique samedi soir.
David said after he agreed to won the fight against Paro, and he said the same thing I said, with only one eye. Normally the referee of the fight in Australia has to stop the fight. After that, it is what it is. We are not agree with scorecard, but it is what it is. After this fight in Australia, David needed a big fight opportunity. London, 9/11, dozen, against an opponent whose name is Eubank. It was a big opportunity. The money is here. Everything is perfect. The quality of the hosting, as I said. Yeah, he's a competitor, a warrior. He's a fighter. So, he's here.
I don't know if that's a translation or a rally cry, but I absolutely love it. Let's bring in Mr. Harlem Eubank. The big lights again, the big opportunity, Saturday night, the main event. Dave spoke about that fight with Liam Paro. They believe their man win. They believe he should be the world champion sat there. You and the team share the same opinion. You believe you're fighting the best in the world. Why have you picked him on Saturday? Like Emma says, you could have picked easier touches. He is the man that you fight. Why?
That's right. We watched the fight and we thought that he came out victorious. We thought he'd done the most damage in the fight, and he had the cleaner work. So we watched that fight and we said we want this guy next. We want to be the best in the world. You have to go out there and look for the guys that the other guys don't want to fight. You've got to look for the guys that are of that world championship ilk, and that's what we believe he is. That's the challenge that we believe we have in front of us on Saturday night, and that's what I'm prepared to overcome and prove I'm ready to become a world champion.
I said the question to Nissa, do you feel like your man has to win on Saturday? Do you go into the ring with that pressure that there is no second turn now, there is no mistakes, you have to go in and put a career best performance in and have your name raised under those lights at the Copper Box on Saturday?
No doubt, I feel like this is my first opportunity coming into the sport to put myself in position to become a world champion. So, every time I go in there, this is, it's fight or flight every time. I go in there with that pressure to come out victorious and set up the bigger fights to come. But I'm not looking past David Papot. He's a world championship level fighter, and this is my first opportunity in the sport to place myself in position to become a world champion, and that was the dream that I had coming into the sport. And it's looming right in front of us now, and Saturday night I'm focused and ready for the challenge at hand.
Obviously, it's been the build-up. We've seen that Jack Catchall fight, like Nissa says there. You can't really take too much of that. You have to let bygones be bygones. You're moving towards that world title. A statement win here, and then is it just back in the gym with the guys you've spoke about being a world champion for so long? You're calling this one your eliminator. Is everything made for this moment now? Is this the right chapter in Harlem Eubank's journey?
This is it. You know, this is the type of guy you have to beat to earn your place at the table to become a world champion. You know, there's been nothing handed to me, nothing gifted to me. I've had to earn it every fight. This right here is the type of fight, the level of fight where you earn your place at the table, and I'm prepared to do that.
Well, David, let me bring you in again. What kind of fight do you expect Harlem to bring? He said that it's the best opportunity of his career. He's talking about that world title, no stone unturned. He said you have to fight the best. Do you expect the best Harlem Eubank in the ring on Saturday?
Oui, Harlem veut être champion du monde et c'est tout à son honneur. Maintenant, il boxe sur DAZN, c'est un premier contrat avec DAZN. Il va falloir qu'il fasse le combat parfait. Moi je suis là pour l'en empêcher bien sûr. Et mon rêve aussi c'est d'être champion du monde. On a failli passer avec Papot et maintenant voilà c'est Eubank qui est sur ma route, donc on va tout faire pour ramener la victoire en France.
David said Harlem wants to become world champ. It's normal. It's ambition, normal ambition in boxing. David too. He wants to become world champ. He was very close. He did the job in Australia, but you know the story. And he's sure the fight will be a magnificent fight against Harlem. Harlem will have a lot of questions because it's a fight at home. The first main event does that, first fight in London. Harlem has everything to lose, David has everything to win. And Harlem has a big man, Eubank. When your name is Eubank, the main event doesn't, you have to fight. You can't run against a French fighter. It's a white belt, it's not possible. You have to come to fight. And Harlem has to make the perfect fight. And David will do his job to make that impossible.
Well, Harlem, I'll give you the final comment on that. You can't run, you have to fight him on Saturday night. You have that home advantage. We see those Brighton fans come out for you in full voice, as they always have. What can we expect Saturday, and what's your final message to them?
Let's hope he comes, like he says, you know, you can expect fireworks. Yeah, let's hope he brings the fight. Let's hope he brings the best version of himself. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So don't blink if that's the case.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What a fight that is Saturday night.
And all you people in Britain, please watch us at Boxing Bros UK.